Hi everybody, this is Aid from photographycourses.eu and I've got some Lightroom presets and a workflow from these kind folk at Sleeklens, and they've just asked me to do a quick review of them, so let's have a look. This is their site, sleeklens.com, and they do lots of different brushes for Lightroom and Photoshop, and the one I've been sent, I can't find it on here, but if I pop over to Lightroom, if you look down here, it's Through the Woods, TTW. So you get a big selection of presets, and you also, if you go to the brushes area here, you also get a big selection of brush presets as well, which you can use on radial filters, grads, and the brush tool. So from what I've gathered so far, I've only had them for an hour or so, is you've got a bunch of all-in-one presets here. So let's go through a few. This is Pendle Hill, by the way, so where I'm from. So Dawn Rising. So these are like your start points, so reset that, and then Heavenly Warmth. So you can see some nice start points. Me Tender. What's this? Some black and white ones as well, I think. Pressed in Time. So nice start points. So that's the zeros. Lots of opening things. Then we've got some bases. I'm not sure why they're called base, but these are more start points. You know, so let's reset between them. There's a high dynamic range, monochrome fantasy, reset that. Morning light, what's that one do? Reset it, and but the clever, let's find one that I quite like. So I think autumn colours. I'll just reset and then click on autumn colours. So that's not a bad little start point. I'm going to just get rid of that dust spot because it's doing my head in. There we go. Done. So you've got these bases, and then you can independently change 4 more things. One's a colour. So it's got the deep blue skies, reduce the blues, reduce the greens, reduce the reds, and reduce yellows. So I probably shouldn't have gone through all those. I can go back in the history, but if you've got a photo which has got a bit too much blue in it, rather than going over to the HSL palette, you can just come over here and click on these things here, which is quite handy. I'll just go back in my history, which you can do over here. So we go to before I've got rid of all the colour. So the next palette is a hint. In fact, if you look at this little box up here, you can see like a preview of what's going on. So we can add a tint, have more colour, make it cooler, make it less colourful, or warm it up. So let's click on warm it up, see what happens. They're quite subtle actually, which is a refreshing change for most of these sort of things. You know, it's not like that made a massive difference, but it was a nice subtle difference, which is cool. The next one is a polish section, so this takes care of your clarity, contrast, and well, so I mean, you know, if anyone follows my tutorials, you know I like a bit of punch. Let's have a bit of sharpening as well. Right, now looking at that, I think it's way too blue, so I'm just going to go back up to reduce the blues and see what that does. Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? So and then the final area is this vignette. So rather than doing your own vignettes, it's got a few presets. So you've got subtle one, strong one. Wow, that is strong, isn't it? Medium one. Okay, so let's go for the subtle one. Quite like subtle is better. And then, so that's, it is kind of a workflow. They do sell it as a workflow, so you can start off with one of these or one of these bases, and then just quickly treat the exposure colours any tints and hints, clarity and a vignette. Rather than playing around with the sliders yourself, you can do it down this side, and it's pretty effective and quick. Let's just try it in a different photo. So this is all from the same day, up around Malham. What's on this one? That's a bit of a nothing shot, that one. What's this? Okay, so this is looking back over sort of Airedale, from the Malham sort of area. So if we go for a base of, let's have a look. I'm just going down each one of these and looking at this. So I think extending DR, crisp and sharp. So instant, that's pretty attractive. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use a grad tool on the sky. So let's just drag just above the horizon and end just below the horizon. And now we've got all these different settings here. So we've got the basics, contrast and clarity, colour. So these add different colours for you. So if you want to draw a bit more green on some fields, you just click on the green and draw over the brush. Some effects, which are cloudy sky definition, which seems quite appropriate. Oh well, really good at bringing out your dust bunnies. That big one there. But in an instant, that's done quite a lot. So let's go back to new. So this is quite another one of the grad tools for the sky, and this time, let's say we wanted to change the colour a bit. Maybe let's make it magenta. Alright, okay. But the cool thing is you can just go through them and change them, and it's not like a permanent thing. So cooler, so make it a bit bluer. Is there a warmer one? There is, so let's make it a bit of a warmer sky. That's nice. Excellent. So let's use these brushes here. I'm just gonna get rid of that dust bunny because again it's playing with my brain. And we'll get rid of this one down here as well. So on the bottom bit, let's have a look at the brush. So I'm gonna paint in this middle bit here, maybe a bit more green. So let's say we wanted a bit greener. So we go to Through the Woods green, and then just, I don't know if you can see that, just painting on it. Wow. I don't know why. I wasn't expecting it to go quite so dark, but let's just bear with it. That's probably not what I was expecting. Just finish off. Obviously what I'm going to do next is just go and change the exposure. I didn't want it to go quite this dark. There we go. So flow feather size. Right, so yeah, I didn't really want, I just wanted to add green. I didn't really want to add right, so that's done something completely different to what I was expecting. But because I've painted the mask, what I can do is go find another one. So what does mustard look like? Looks like that. Okay. Cooler, cool it down a bit. So if you're in a bit of a winter scene, that's the cool thing about Lightroom. You once you've painted the mask on with a brush or one of the other tools, you can then play a little bit. Golden. That's interesting. So the preset there's taken away quite a lot of clarity and punch, hasn't it? Let's maybe try rose. What does rose do? So it gives it a slight warm purple look. Obviously you can then start playing around with these sliders. Darken shadows, intense sunset. What does that do? That's nice. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's do a new one, and we'll do this foreground. And I think for the foreground, I'm going to go for add golden sun, and I might turn the flow down a little bit on this one so we can layer it up a little bit, and then just draw across. That's added a nice warm tint to it, hasn't it? So I think the workflow is pretty fast and intuitive. You choose something from this side here, have a play around with the different settings on each of the exposure, colour, tint, polish and vignette, and then you can selectively start playing around with these preset brushes. So I'll stop there and I'll do another video in a sec with a couple more edits just to see how we go. Okay, that's the intro over. Thanks for watching.